Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. I have been MIA for a very long time and I apologize. It's been a couple months, you guys. Maybe a little bit longer than that. Anyway, but I am sorry. I did kind of dip off. 2025 was a year. It was definitely a year. I'll get into that in another video. This video is specifically about answering questions about a video that went viral on my boys' Instagram page. For those who do not know, I started an Instagram page for my babies, my fur babies, my boys. I did a post actually about a specific incident that happened and it's a little triggering, so trigger warning, this video is about pet loss. So if you are sensitive to that subject, I highly suggest you not watch this video. But the post blew up. It's hit over like I think almost 400,000 views. So I wanted to answer some questions because while I did post this video a month ago and I said I was going to do a video, I just ended up not doing it, you guys. It's a triggering topic for me. And I don't know, I've been kind of trying to block it out, but I also do understand that it is something that needs to be discussed. This company is still doing foul business, and I feel like it is my duty to mention it and also answer questions. A lot of people have been answering questions in the comments because it is a very quick clip. It's like 45 seconds, maybe 45 seconds, something like that. So I understand the video did not answer all the questions that you guys have. So I want to just put this video up and then refer people to this video to watch to answer questions, because some people thought I was trying to gatekeep or protect the company, and it's like that's not what's going on. But first of all, when I put the video out, I was sick. After that, I just got distracted with work and just life and got distracted with 2025. You guys should understand. So anyway, I'm gonna jump into it right now. Just to answer your questions. I did write some down so I don't forget. But again, this video does involve pet loss, so if that is a sensitive subject for you, please do not watch this video. I'm not trying to trigger anyone because this is triggering for myself. But before I start answering questions, I do want to give a little backstory because I know that some people are probably like, girl, what are you talking about? Most of you guys probably have not seen the video that I'm even referring to. I will link it in the description if you want to see the original post that I'm referring to. But again, that post is very vague. It's like it might be 45 seconds. It might be less than that. So it didn't really give the whole, spiel. And this probably won't give the whole spiel, but it'll give more than that. So pretty much, let's get into it. So October 25th, 2023, I purchased a dog from a company in Miami. And I will name the company further into the video. I just want to get this out the way. So I purchased a dog from a company in Miami, and of course I'm in California, so they shipped the dog out via flight nanny. So I met the flight nanny at the airport to pick her up, and everything was fine. I was excited. They asked me if I could leave a review. I'm like, yeah, sure. So left a review, and I'm very excited, very happy with the process and everything. So did that, got in the car, named her Baby Yoda, by the way. Her name was Baby Yoda, and because I had a thing for Baby Yoda, and she just looked like Baby Yoda to me. She was so cute. So we drove home, and everything was fine. She was very chill, very quiet in the car. I was surprised. But not really. I mean, I figured with the flight and everything and having, being in the car ride and then being around me, it's like, girl, who are you? Where am I at? Like, it's a lot going on in the day. So I didn't think too far into it, but I guess I was surprised because when I got Guilty a few months prior, he threw up in the car like a couple times before we made it home. But it was just from car sickness. But she did really good on the car ride home. Just very quiet. So came in the house, they were having a blast. He was trying to get to know her. Of course, it's an adjustment having a new dog in the house. Everything was fine. He was kind of barking at her. Then they started playing, and things were good. I'm happy. I'm like, this is great. So she's eating, running around. Homegirl had an appetite. So I know from doing my research, if dogs start to lose their appetite, it's kind of like a bad sign, or it could be a sign of, something negative. So I'm okay, well, she's eating good, whatever. I don't have at this point, any reservation in my mind, because I mean, who would walk into that with reservation? You know what I mean? So whatever. So they're playing, whatever. Within her being at the house, within the first few hours, I noticed that she had not had a solid poop. And it was very, very runny, unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. And I was, in communication with the people that I got her from. So, I'm texting the company and I'm saying you know, just so you guys know, she has not had solid poop since she's been here. They're like, she's probably just nervous. She had a long flight. She's had a long day in general. So I'm like, okay, these things are true. They're very, very true. And I'm thinking back to when I got Gildy, and I'm thinking like, you know, he did throw up a few times. He was nervous. So they're just like, you know, give it a few days and just see what happens. And then we'll go from there. But in my mind, I'm not giving it a few days. I'm giving it until morning, and then we're going to figure out what's going on. So, and then at that time also, I got her from the airport at like 5:30, 5:45. So no vets were closing. By the time I got home and saw that there was an issue, vets were not even open. So I would have had to wait till morning anyways. They also told me to try to give her a wet food. They said, do you have wet food? I'm like, yes, I have everything. If you know me, I'm a very extra dog mom. So I try to keep everything on deck for my babies. So I did have wet food. So they said, okay, try to give her that in the morning. So I said, okay, that's fine. So put her to sleep. Everything was fine. I checked on her throughout the night, and between the last time that I checked on her and the time that I woke up, it was a totally different dog. It was Yoda was not, the Yoda that woke up that day was not the Yoda that went to sleep. She was completely different. She had low energy. She was moaning, like groaning like she was in pain. She could not stand up. I'm not gonna cry, y'all. She could not stand up. It was very sad to see. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. It freaked me out. Also, when I walked out, she had trails of red on her potty pad from her like just walking. It looked like she was walking in a circle, but it was a lot to witness. And at that point, I'm like, this is not right. So immediately, my dog, even when they were playing together the night before, even he knew something was wrong. Like he was just kind of looking at her, and he would try to get close, and I made sure to separate them because at this point I'm getting paranoid. I'm like, this is not normal. So I immediately started calling vets around. Nobody would take her in to look at her, and I finally got a hold of one vet that said that I told her what was going on. I told her the symptoms. Sorry, y'all. I told her the symptoms, and she said, you know, it sounds like she has parvo. And after that, I lost it. So again, the vet is just like, you know, it sounds like she has parvo based off of the symptoms you gave us. Please bring her in immediately, but don't bring her into the building. Just, you know, when you pull up, just give us the call and we'll come outside and handle it accordingly. So I'm like, okay, they don't want to get the space contaminated. I understand. So I'm freaking out, and not only am I worried about baby Yoda, but I'm also worried about Gildy because they have been sharing food, cuddled with each other that night, you know, played together, shared water. So I'm just freaking out. So I immediately, my boyfriend's trying to calm me down, and I'm just like, I'll watch Gildy. I'll be right back. Also, by the way, I did give her food that morning while I was trying to find a vet that would help us. I did give her the wet food mixed with the food that she had the night prior. Whatever. So I just wanted to add that in because she did start throwing up. She was throwing up that morning. She was not holding food down after she woke up, and she was like trying to walk, and she would fall over. She would walk for a second and just kind of fall over. She was very, very weak. So I'm freaking out and crying and just like a hot mess. My boyfriend's trying to calm me down. He's like, it's fine. And, you know, just, you know, whatever. So I rushed her to the hospital. She threw up probably 4 or 5 more times before we got to the hospital. And then I get there. I called them. I'm like, I'm outside. They come out and they have like suits on. They have like hazmat suits on, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, like how serious is, like, I know parvo is serious, but like it was freaking me out more the way they were reacting to it. You know what I mean? Like she had on, like, it was just a whole thing. So, you know, they come out with the test. I tell them what's going on. Right before they came out, she threw up again. The last picture in the video that I posted on Instagram, that is the last picture I have of her before they took her into the hospital. And they did the test, and she sat outside with me for a second, and they came back and they said that she tested positive for parvo. And I am freaking out. I'm crying. I'm all over the place. I'm about to cry now because it was so much. It was so traumatic. And all I can think about is I have contaminated my entire house. I have had this poor baby in my house, not knowing that it was this serious. You know what I mean? That it was really something that maybe I could have gotten her help the night before, but really everything was closed at that point. But it's just like I was so angry. I was planning on like raising this baby and like having my second forever baby, and it's just like it was just all around terrible. I am just upset. I'm livid. I'm crying. I'm screaming. And the vet is like, you know, pretty much the options are I can take her home and help her myself and try to nurse her back to health. Or she can stay overnight at the hospital and they can start the treatments. Immediately I say treatments at the hospital because I'm a new dog mom, you guys. My first dog I got in August, which was Gildy. October, a couple months later, is when I got Yoda. I don't know. I did not feel like I was equipped to handle that, like mentally, or just I wanted her to be okay. And I know that these people are paid to do the things that they do. And to me, that was the best option at that point, even though it did cost $2,000 to start just to get her into the hospital. And thank God I had that money, you know what I mean? But I paid the money and I'm yelling at the company and I'm telling them like, you guys like sent me a sick dog. And they're just like, you know, I had them on speakerphone and they're like, no, we didn't send you a sick dog. Like we would never do that. And everybody, all the other dogs are fine here. Our brothers and sisters are fine. And the dog must've got sick at your house. And immediately the vet snatched the phone from me and she said, I remember this, and I love that vet so much. She was amazing. She was so upset with me, and she was just like, that is not true. It takes days for symptoms to show for parvo. So seeing that she just got the dog last night, there's no way that this dog just got sick from her house. So she was so upset. She was so upset. And they tried to say basically like, well, this is your dog now and you should be happy that we're servicing you and all the things. And it was a mess, you guys. It was a whole mess. And I'm screaming, crying. And I'm just saying like, what about Gildy? Like my baby's at home and I could possibly get him sick. Like it's just so much going on, you guys. Like I'm trying to save this little dog that I just got less than 24 hours ago, on top of being worried about the fact that my baby that I've had for 2 months now, and I am like, we're like Velcro. Like that is my baby. I'm stuck. So I'm freaking out again and I'm just like, what's next? Like what about my baby at home? Like I have another baby at home. Like not only am I worried about baby Yoda, and I know that she's, you know, in the process she's about to start getting her treatments, but I'm also worried about Gildy because again, they have shared all these different items and waters and foods and everything for the past, or less than 24 hours, but you know, at least the past 12 hours. So she's like, is he fully vaccinated? I'm like, yes, he is. I keep everything up to date. And she's like, well, you need to get him here at least for a booster shot. We still need to give him that just in case, you know, just to offset anything that could potentially happen. So I'm freaking out. I'm telling my boyfriend, I'm like, please, you know, get dressed or whatever and come with me to the hospital or whatever, or to the vet. So he gets dressed. I'm also worried about the ride back because I know that Gildy is very much a Velcro dog when it comes to me. So I didn't want him on me because parvo is contagious. And I was very much contaminated myself because of cleaning up her throw up on the ride. It was a lot going on. So the whole car is contaminated in my eyes. I'm contaminated and, you know, whatever. So anyway, we get back to the vet. They give him a booster shot and they're like, okay, give it, I believe they said 10 days. And if, you know, as long as you don't see any signs or anything like that, then you guys are good. So I'm like, okay. So they take her in. I make the payment for the $2,000 for her to stay overnight at the vet. And, yeah, during that time, I will say that the most disappointing part, well, not the most, it's all disappointing, but one of the most disappointing parts about this whole situation is that when I was telling them that she's going to stay overnight, one, they almost fought me. I feel like they almost tried to fight me on the payment, of paying me back. And they also said, again, this is my dog now, and they should be happy that they're even, you know, entertaining the conversation. Because at this point, the dog is in my hands, it's my responsibility, and this is a part of the process of getting a dog, which I thought was an insane thing to say, considering I've had this dog for less than 24 hours at this point. Because again, I had got her at around 5:30, 5:45 the night before. So this was like daytime, early in the day. So anyway, not only that, but they also said that they were going to have a flight nanny come out to pick up the dog. They were going to have a flight nanny come back out to pick up the dog from Florida to California, and they wanted me to come pick her up. They said, we can't get out there earlier than tomorrow morning. So I said, are you serious? Like, first of all, the fact that you care more about coming to get this dog and take her back to Florida instead of having her stay here and get the help that she needs, that she desperately needs. Like, this dog, Yoda was falling over. and your main concern was to come and get the dog again, like to come pick the dog up and take her back to Florida. Like that was their only concern, was to come and get the dog back from Florida. And I just thought that was the craziest thing. Like, they were begging me to pick her up tomorrow, to basically leave her for treatments in the morning, and then pick her up, come back to pick her up in the morning, to take her back to the airport so that they can meet me there. They're going to fly out from Florida, meet me back at the airport in the morning, because that's the earliest they can get a flight. If they could have gotten there that same day, they would have come that same day. To me, their concern was never the health of baby Yoda. It was more so, let me get this dog back and, I don't know, resell it, or I don't know. I genuinely do not know, but it pissed me off so bad, because it's like, how this dog is 14 weeks, which means you guys have had her for a fairly long time, longer than I've had her at this point. You know what I mean? So for me to care about this dog more than you guys care about this dog is insane to me, and it says a lot about your company. So I fought them on it so hard for so long, and I said, I'm not doing that. Like, she needs care. And they were like, please, 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 we'll just bring her. So anyway, the vet said, you know what, if that's what they want, that's fine, but we need to start some type of process for her. So I don't want to say they talked me into taking her back to the airport, because in my mind, I was never going to do that. But just to shut them up, I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyway, left her at the vet that day. So that was the 26th. So that was the day after I got her. So she stayed overnight. They said they would call me to let me know how the treatments were going in the morning and all the things. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So did that. Also the company, which is Royalty Puppies Miami, they said, and I'll post their picture of their Instagram on the screen now. But they said that they would be there the following day. So the 27th, the morning of the 27th. So, the vet said they would keep me updated or whatever. So long story short, we went home. I'm freaking out. I'm throwing everything away, because at this point, everything's contaminated. And mind you, this is my first dog. So I had just bought a whole bunch of stuff for him, and I didn't want it anymore. I'm afraid that it's just no good, in my opinion, anymore. So that's pretty much the story, you guys. The end of the story is, the next morning, they did call me and tell me that she passed. And it was like literally probably about 30 minutes later, the company Royalty Puppies Miami told me that they were at the airport, or headed to the airport, or they had just landed. I think they had just landed. And mind you, I was at home. I had no intention of ever going to the airport. But they said that they were there, and I said she passed this morning. That's the story, you guys, of Yoda. I know it's kind of probably all over the place, and I may need to do a part 2 on this. I don't know. But I'm going to answer questions now that you guys had. And one of the biggest things I was seeing on my post on Instagram was adopt, don't shop. While I understand that is true, that does not work for everybody. That it doesn't. And the process is really not as easy as it sounds, you guys. Prior to me getting a new dog, I did get a second puppy. And he's right here. He's asleep. He's probably tired of me talking. But prior to getting him, I applied for multiple dogs, and I did not get them. One lady drugged me around and kind of made me feel like I was going to get that dog, and I didn't. She was like, oh yeah, this is great. I think you would be great for this and that, and had me send her a home tour and all the things, just to tell me that, oh, this dog has a lot of energy, and I don't think it'll work because you have a dog. And I'm like, my dog has high energy. That's why I want him to have a friend. Like, I don't care if it's a girl or a boy. Like, I just want my dog to have a friend. He deserves to have a friend. And I've applied for other dogs outside of that, and I don't get calls back. I don't get emails back. Nothing. So while I understand what you guys are saying, adopt, don't shop, that does not work for everybody. I also do not want, in the process of adopting, I didn't want to just adopt any dog. One, because I have very bad allergies. Like, my skin breaks out from everything. I have really bad allergies, you guys. Everything breaks me out. So with that being said, before you say adopt, don't shop, don't think that people haven't tried. Also, I looked up Yorkies. They're very good for grieving. The reason I got a dog was because of my grandmother who passed, and I wanted a companion dog, and it was the best situation for me. They're hypoallergenic. It worked. Okay, so mind your business. If you want to adopt and don't shop, then you adopt and don't shop. Okay, thank you. Stop telling people what to do with their money, their time, and all the things. Okay. Next, let me see. Why didn't you get a Yorkie from the shelter? I tried that. I just said it. I tried it multiple times, not just once, not just twice. I've tried a few times, and it's actually a very discouraging process. So yeah, again, as far as the company name, it is Royalty Puppies Miami in Florida. I will put it up. They have 2 storefronts. They are very good at what they do when it comes to marketing, because they really portrayed themselves to be a company that really, really cares about their animals. Granted, now that I know more about dogs, I was new to this back in 2023. I do see some red flags now that I did not see back then. But again, I do not feel like, well, I do take accountability for not doing the due diligence that I thought that I did. Because I did. I talked to them on the phone. I FaceTimed with them. It was great communication. It was, they were very open and honest about things. So I didn't see any issues. But I do see how I could have went further into looking into them and also, what they're really about. Let me see. Couldn't the emergency vet done something to save her? That is what a lot of people said, couldn't the emergency vet have done something to save her? That is why I paid the $2,000 to get that help. Unfortunately, I think with her being so small, she was so tiny, like very, very tiny. I think it was just too much for her body, honestly. And then who knows? I mean, honestly, all vets are not good vets. I feel like the people that I sent her to genuinely did care. But at the same time, I have no proof of that. You know what I mean? They cared in the moment. Like the vet tech that was there, when she took the phone from me and she was like talking to them and yelling at them. She was very, very angry at them. She was like, do not blame her. This is your fault. And you guys are, selling sick dogs. So outside of that, I can't say that I know that they did their best. I would hope that they did, but I feel like they did better than I could have done, because at that time I knew nothing about how to cure it. I've thankfully met a bunch of amazing people. One in particular that has been amazing at giving me tips on, what to do in the future. So now I feel more prepared. God forbid. I hope that never ever happens. But yeah, I feel like I've met a lot of people through this post in the comments that have given me ways to kind of cure it at home. So yeah, but back then, again, I'm a new dog mom. I would rather send her to the vet and just pay the bill than to try and DIY it myself, because I really did not have the experience. And then on top of that, I had a second dog at home. So you got to think about it. Gildy's still at home. There's a chance that, it could be worse with 2 dogs. So yes, what else? Did she go naturally or did you have to put her down? I did not put her down. She did pass naturally the next morning, early in the morning. So yeah, I did not put her down. What else? Did I not vaccinate the puppy? People are asking this, and I don't know if they missed the timeline, but again, it was a short video. I got her on the 25th, took her to the vet on the 26th, the morning of the 26th. But just to remind you guys, I did get her that night from the airport around 5:45 p.m. So by the time I got home, it was around 6:37, probably closer to 7:30ish. So the time frame didn't permit me to take her to the vet that night. And then also she wasn't showing any crazy signs that night. It was more so the next day. Of course she had the loose stool, but that was like the only thing that was showing, you know what I mean? So everything else was normal. Her energy levels, her food intake, and liquid intake, all that was normal. So at that time, I didn't see any reason to take her to the vet. I was just kind of side-eyeing, but keeping an eye on things just to make sure. So yeah, but as soon as I saw that there was an issue, I immediately took her to the hospital, like that, no question. What else? Oh yeah, so no, I did not vaccinate her, just to answer that question, because she wasn't with me long enough. So yeah, that's that. Did I get my money back? I absolutely got my money back. They tried to, again, say that this was my responsibility, and they tried to make it seem like they were doing me a favor. And it's like, sir, you know what I mean? Like, my household was fine until this happened. You know what I mean? That there was no issue with parvo or anything like that prior to Yoda coming into the house. So there's no way that she got that from between here and the airport. I don't know. Anyway, so yes, I did get my money back. I got my money back for when I purchased her. I got the money back for my flight nanny, as well as the bill, the vet bill. I did get that back. I tried to argue with them. I really did, and I really should have pushed it, but I was so stressed out during this time, you guys. Like, I didn't even tell my family that this happened, because my niece was so excited. She saw her on the phone the night that she got home, and she was so excited to meet her, and I was just kind of playing it off like, oh, we had to give her away, like Gildy did not, they didn't mesh well. So I had to kind of play it off like that for a while, because it was a lot. I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, so I did get my money back for everything. I wanted them to give me my money back from throwing all my stuff away, because I threw everything away, you guys. When I tell you I have carpet in the living room, I wanted to rip that carpet up and just get hardwood floors. And I was freaking out. Like, people were like, oh, just wash it, it'll be fine, and, you know, sterilize it. I was too paranoid. Did Gildy get parvo? He did not get parvo. Thank God. We went through that 10-day phase, and I was freaking out, and I actually did not tell my family until after that 10-day phase, because honestly, you guys, I felt so embarrassed, and just like, I don't know, I don't have kids, but like, to feel like you put your child in jeopardy to potentially get a sickness that's not, you know, I didn't want to be responsible for losing another, you know, pet. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like I was responsible for the first one. I did everything that I feel like I could do at that time. And I feel like I did what was best for Yoda. But I just felt so bad. I felt so stupid. I felt like I was scammed. Even though I got my money back, I felt scammed. I felt like, I don't know. It was a lot, you guys. So he did not get parvo, thank God. Very important to keep your dogs vaccinated. And also, I think the booster shot helped. But by the grace of God, no, he did not get parvo. Yes, and so somebody else said, did you clean your house and take your other babies to make sure they didn't get parvo? So yes, I did. I absolutely did. Everybody knows I'm a germaphobe. I'm very, very big when it comes to sanitation and everything. So that's another reason why I was so freaked out. But I sanitized the hell out of everything. And like I said, I threw away everything that like was physical, but like the stuff in the house that obviously cannot, like the floors, like everything was sterilized. Unfortunately, I lost money in that aspect because I had to buy everything all over again, and I bought a lot of stuff, but to me it was worth it in the long run. So yeah, will I be getting another dog? I actually, people are asking this, but like if you go to my page, you see that I got another dog. But I do have another dog now. His name is Milo, and he is the sweetest boy. He just turned 6 months this a few days ago. So yeah, so he is 6 months, and I have my 2 boys. I love animals, and I always saw myself having like a farm full of animals, but for now, those are my 2. I would be open to adopting at one point, but it has to make sense, and they have to respond to me. They don't respond. So yeah, right now I don't want another dog. I'm in the puppy phase right now with Milo, and it is a task. Also, again, this story is from 2 years ago. The reason it took me so long is because it was something I was trying to block out. I did reach out to the police and tried to, you know, report it. Everybody kind of downplayed it and kind of just brushed it off. So in the midst of me trying to heal from the situation, I kind of just let it go, honestly. And really, I thought it was an isolated incident. I really did think it was an isolated incident, just because they did give me my money back. They did, you know, eventually apologize and say, we're so sorry, whatever. And I believe they said that this didn't happen. This hasn't happened before, something like that. So to me, I believed it was an isolated incident. When I looked recently after sharing that video on Instagram, when I went to go see like recent reviews, they're still selling sick dogs. So that's another reason I want to put this video out, is because I'm going to put their name, in all the tags and everything, so that hopefully if people like think to purchase from them, hopefully they think twice. I was never trying to gatekeep this company or protect them. That's not what this was for. I just know people see you talking negatively about them and they block. I don't want a lawsuit, but this is my story, and I have all the proof and receipts to back it up. So I really don't care how they feel. I don't. I asked them also, I know I told you guys at the beginning of the story, when I went to go pick her up, I did do a review for them, a video review, saying thank you, it was a great experience. I told them, do not share delete the review. Don't share it at any point in your life, or I will come for you guys. Like, don't, because this was not a good experience. This was terrible. Very, very scarred. It took me a very long time to get a new dog. So that's all, you guys. If you do want to follow along my baby's journey, their name is Little Yorkie Bros, Lil Yorkie Bros, Bros, on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But yeah, let me show you my babies really quickly. I'm gonna wake them up. This is Gildy, and he is completely silvered out. And this is Milo. So they are very sweet boys. Very sweet boys. And I'm happy. So that's all, you guys. Like I said, if you want to follow along their journey and you're into dog content, then please go support my babies on their pages. I may still post them on here, but not as much. You know, I don't want to bombard you guys with dog content, but they will be in my videos because they are a part of my life. So anyway, these are my babies, and that is it, you guys. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Also, I am considering, I want to do a video. I was going to add some tips on what to look out for when looking at companies to get dogs. I don't want to say the B word. Also, let me say, you guys, the breeders were not the company that I got them from. So apparently they partner with breeders. And so the original breeders are someone else, but Royalty Puppies Miami is the company that I got them from. So let me just be clear on that. But like I said, if you guys want any tips on things to look out for when you are looking for your forever fur baby, please let me know. I want to do a video on that. I meant to add tips in here, but this video got way too long. I'm so sorry. I have worked up an appetite and I'm out of spit in my mouth. So anyway, I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Again, this is not my typical content, but you will see my boys in my videos, just not this type of sadness, okay? Again, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the new year. See you in 2026, okay? Bye.